Ever wished you could see risk before it hits? Let's decode how predictive heat maps turn numbers into early warnings.
In the fast-moving world of finance and projects, reporting isn't enough anymore. Traditional financial reports are like looking in the rearview mirror. They tell you what has already happened. By the time a quarterly report shows your liquidity risk, it's already too late. The real advantage lies in prediction. That's where predictive heat maps change the game. Predictive heat maps visualize financial risk as it develops, not after it strikes. They transform cash flow data, collection cycles, and forecast variances into a living risk map that warns you early. Instead of reacting to a crisis, you act before it compounds.
Let's uncover how these colorful grids actually predict risk.
A predictive heat map takes your financial metrics, like cash burn, cash runway, and days sales outstanding, and turns them into visual intelligence. Each cell on the map represents a time horizon, say, 1 week or 1 month. The color represents severity and proximity. Green means stable cash and normal operations. Yellow signals early warning, cash balance nearing thresholds, or early DSO increase. Orange means the forecast shows operational minimum risk. Red? That's a crisis about to explode. Most organizations still rely on reactive reports. Monthly P&Ls, quarterly forecasts, all lagging indicators. They show you the accident after the crash. For example, a 12-month cash runway might give false comfort. It hides the volatility inside shorter cycles. You think you're safe for a year until a sudden 4-week liquidity gap hits and your report hasn't caught up. Predictive heat maps remove that blind spot. They operate on rolling 13-week windows, always recalculating your near-term liquidity risk.
So, how far ahead can a heat map really warn you?
In practice, predictive heat maps can signal a shortfall up to 7 weeks before cash stress appears. That's 7 weeks to prepare mitigation, long before emergency borrowing or delayed payrolls. When the forecast dips into orange or red, automated alerts can prompt cost control or collection acceleration. Executives see not only where risk is, but when it will strike.
Let's decode what's behind the color logic that then awakened the red.
Predictive heat maps measure 2 core dimensions. 1. Severity, how big the potential financial impact is. 2. Proximity, how soon the impact will occur. Green zone, healthy and optimized. Green means stability. Your reserves are healthy, and key performance indicators like DSO, cost ratio, or burn rate are all within target. This is your optimization zone. Don't get complacent. Green is the time to fine-tune processes, automate reporting, and strengthen liquidity buffers. Think of this as your maintain excellence phase. Yellow zone, early warning. When yellow appears, the system is signaling imbalances below the safety threshold. It usually shows up 4 to 8 weeks before a potential issue, like rising DSO, slowing collections, or increased forecast variance. Investigate the root causes immediately. At this stage, cost control and cash forecasting adjustments can prevent escalation. This is the diagnostic zone. Act early, avoid disruption. Orange zone, urgent response. Orange is your action alarm. It signals that forecasted cash is below operational minimums, often within the next 2 to 4 weeks. If no correction occurs, a liquidity crunch is almost certain. This is the time to cut non-essential spending, accelerate receivables, renegotiate payment terms, and prepare short-term funding if needed. The goal: stop the slide before it turns red. Red zone, crisis mode. Red means you've crossed the line. Cash depletion or high-cost borrowing is imminent, typically within 0 to 2 weeks. At this stage, reaction time is minimal. Execute your emergency plan immediately, pause new commitments, reforecast daily, communicate with stakeholders, and protect critical operations. This zone isn't about improvement, it's about survival.
Prediction is power, but only if you act on it.
The real strength of predictive heat maps is connection. They link what used to be isolated signals, like DSO trends, forecast variance, or payroll load, into a single risk ecosystem. If you detect orange at week 5, you've still got 4 weeks to act. Accelerate collections. Offer early payment discounts. Freeze non-essential hiring. Each week you gain now is a week you don't have to fight a liquidity crisis later.
Predictive heat maps are not just tools. They change culture.
They push organizations from firefighting to foresight. Executives no longer ask, what went wrong? They ask, what will go wrong next week, and what do we do now? It's not about technology alone, it's about timing. When finance teams and operations share a visual truth, they move together. That's what keeps crises from becoming headlines.
Predictive heatmaps transform risk management from reaction after crisis to prevention before crisis.
They tell leaders where to look, when to act, and what to fix ahead of time. Success isn't about managing crises, it's about seeing them before anyone else.
So are your dashboards still reporting or predicting? Let prevention drive your performance.